Philippa Candler, you're UNHCR's representative in Pakistan. What is the agency doing to protect those people of Afghan origin who are right now facing an expulsion from Pakistan?
We've been increasing our advocacy efforts, so asking the government to consider exempting certain categories who we believe are in need of international protection from the repatriation plan. And this includes people who've been registered by the government of Pakistan and who have either proof of registration cards, POR cards, or ACC cards, which is an Afghan citizenship card, but it also includes certain groups of vulnerable individuals who we feel may be at risk if they were forced back to Afghanistan, such as ethnic and religious minorities, female-headed households, and certain professions like, for example, journalists, artists, musicians, certain profiles who we think could be at risk if they were returned to Afghanistan. We have offered our support to the government of Pakistan to set up some kind of screening mechanism. So if those people can be exempted from the initial returns, we could then work. We need to buy time because this is not something that's set up very quickly, but we can set up some kind of system with the government of Pakistan to do a screening so that the people who do need international protection, who have refugee claims, can be protected, and then the others would be dealt with as irregular migrants.
The government of Pakistan says that it wants to send all of these people who are undocumented back to Afghanistan because of security concerns. Do you empathize with Pakistan's position?
I mean, UNHCR recognizes that all countries have the right to control their borders and that all countries perfectly reasonably want to know who is living within their borders. But for us, that's an added reason to work on having some kind of screening mechanism for the people who are already here, so that Pakistan can exercise its sovereign right to return people who don't have a need for international protection, and people with international protection needs can be protected by the government of Pakistan.
Did the government of Pakistan's decision of mass deportations, did that come as a surprise?
I think that it's been something that's been on the table for a while. There have been discussions, there have been former plans, although maybe not quite of the same nature as this one. But I think that there have been some discussions. We were a bit surprised by the timing of this one, in particular because winter's approaching and the situation in Afghanistan is anyway quite fragile.
There are a lot of people that we have talked to who say they have a UNHCR case number, and they feel that they're abandoned, they feel that they know nothing about what's going to happen, and they have gone through a couple of interviews. So what's going on?
So the people that you're talking about who've gone through interviews and who have a case number are the people in the resettlement pipeline. What we're doing for them specifically in this current context is we're actually issuing them with letters so that they can show these letters to the authorities to show that they're in the resettlement pipeline, because the government of Pakistan has also told us that people in the UNHCR resettlement pipeline to be relocated to a third country will be protected and will not be sent back in a forcible manner to Afghanistan. On the sort of more general issue of people being frustrated about the fact that the process, that they don't know where their case stands, it is a challenge because the resettlement process does take a long time. On average, and I'm not talking particularly about Pakistan here, but in general, on average, resettlement takes up to 2 years because we have our own process, but then we submit it to the countries and they have quite lengthy processes, and most of the countries also undertake security checks, which takes time. So in all, resettlement takes quite a long time.
How many people have approached the UNHCR? What's the size of the pool of people that you're looking to resettle?
It's about 445,000 people who've approached us since 2021. But as I said, that's not to say that they're all refugees, but this is the group that we're discussing with the government of Pakistan to offer them some form of temporary amnesty or temporary protection that would give us time to set up a screening mechanism.
Without the government of Pakistan setting up a screening mechanism with UNHCR, is there any way to then determine the refugee status for these people, or would they then stay in limbo?
We have received assurances from the government of Pakistan at different levels that they're fully aware that a number of the undocumented population may face risks if they would be sent back to Afghanistan, and that they don't have any intention of deporting these people. I think the big challenge for us at the moment, and of course for the people themselves, is that there has not been a written instruction sent out aside from for the registered refugees, because a written instruction has gone out for them, but for the others, clearly defining what criteria the government of Pakistan has in mind when they say they won't send back the vulnerable groups. So this gives rise to a lot of anxiety.